Hey everybody, this is Thomas Wells, the body mechanic. I put out a video on sciatica and some of the common misconceptions on sciatica about a week ago. Got a pretty good response, so I figured I would follow it up with a little bit of a how-to video on what to do if you have sciatica and you aren't currently seeing a therapist or a body worker for a treatment. So kind of a self-care regimen here. So one of the most common homework assignments I give clients with sciatic nerve problems is a sciatic nerve glide or a nerve floss. So this is something you can do to yourself. It's not a manual technique, it's a movement technique. And the purpose of a nerve glide is to create motion in the nerve. So to get the long tract of the nerve moving along its pathway. That helps kind of disadhere the nerve from some of the neighboring muscles and soft tissues, helps bring circulation in, and helps quite a bit with taking tension off the nerve tract. One of the biggest problems people get with nerve entrapments, compressed nerves, adhered nerves, is the nerve tension. So we've all heard of pinched nerves. Well, you also have pulled nerves, and when you create tension on a nerve, which they definitely do not like, it creates an ischemic effect where it can decrease circulation to that nerve, and it'll give you the radicular shooting pain, the burning, tingling, etc. So we want to create motion to alleviate some of that tension. So the movement's pretty simple, and it's going to be kind of a two-part movement where you're creating movement towards the toes, and the other you're creating movement away from the toes. What you don't want to do is create tension in both directions at the same time. So the standard tension test that they'll do where you straighten the leg and pull your foot back and curl forward like that. We're definitely not going to do that because that pulls both ends apart from each other at the same time, and we do not want that. That'll tend to exacerbate symptoms. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that up into its component parts. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sit up nice and straight and lean your head back. And by doing that, what it does is it takes tension off the upper part of the nerve tract, which runs all the way up into the spinal cord and into the brain. So by going into lumbar extension, thoracic extension, neck extension, that's going to help alleviate the tension in the upper part of the nerve tract. And when you're back like this, then you can tension the lower part of the nerve tract. So you're slacking one end so that you can create tension in the other. So you're going to go ahead and extend the knee back, or you're going to extend your spine and head back. Then you're going to straighten the leg with your toe pointed, and then you're going to pull your foot back just like that. And you'll notice when you get to the point that you're pulling your foot back, you're going to feel some pull. Oftentimes you'll feel it in the calf. Sometimes you'll even feel it reproducing symptoms like butt pain, because this pulls on the whole tract. So if you have a radiculopathy or something, this can get that talking to you also, but it's going to create motion for both. So again, you're going to extend the spine, head back, straighten the knee, pull the foot back, then you're going to reverse. You're going to point the foot, bend the knee, and then you're going to curl forward. So you're slacking the bottom half of the nerve tract and then tensing the top half. So you're just going to alternate. Tense the top, slack the bottom, tense the bottom, slack the top. So you're always going to create slack before you create tension. So I'm going to do the whole thing. So you're going to extend back, straighten the leg, pull the foot back, point the foot, bend the knee, crunch forward, and repeat. Extend back, straighten the leg, pull back, point, bend the knee, crunch forward. And you're going to do that for however many repetitions it takes until you feel a loosening. So again, this is where you're at the most tension in the distal part of the nerve here, is when your leg's straight and toes back. So make a note of how that feels on that first rep, and when it starts to feel looser than it did on the first rep, you can consider yourself done for that particular set. And you can do this throughout the day. There's no upper limit to how many reps you can do. But usually people are going to notice an improvement after 10 or 12 repetitions. So this is a very quick thing. You can do it anywhere where you can sit down and that your feet clear the ground. So couches, tall chairs, benches, etc. Really easy to do this. You tend to have a little bit more mobility through the soft tissues when things are warmed up. So coming out of the shower is a really good time, or after exercise or after warming up. The increased tissue temperature tends to make the connective tissues more pliable and softer, so you get a little bit more oomph out of this if you're warm first. So usually this will, over time, give people some improvement, sometimes to the extent that they don't even need additional treatment. But I usually use this as an add-on, as an adjunct home exercise program, in addition to all this stuff I do in the office. In the office, I also end up having to address, scar tissue and muscle spasms compressing on the nerve, lumbar compression, issues in the lower leg and the foot, and a number of different things. Using cold laser to help with the inflammation of the nerve sheath, and a number of other things. But this will be a good start, and I highly recommend it that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.